Hello and welcome to This and That. I'm Dave Lees.
And I'm Jonathan Byer, and I know that I look weird, but I have blurred my background because I was having an internet issue in front of those pretty windows that I film in front of sometimes. So I came into this person's home office, and I'm just blurring the background.
Jonathan is having some Jeremy Abbott issues today. We are not quite sure what is going on.
But and you know what? I did eat Chipotle. Yeah.
This is the skating lesson where we talk about all things skating. So if you are new here or just returning and you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe below and smash that like button and leave lots of comments so we know that you're here and you're loving figure skating and that you're excited for the new season because there's a lot going on. We had the Aurora Games this weekend. We had the Junior Grand Prix. I was driving back from vacation last week and I started to see Halloween events and I realized that the Junior Grand Prix was starting the next season and I had that moment where I was like, oh my God, summer is over. And I have my yoga retreat in September coming up. And so in my mind, summer isn't really over, but summer is kind of over because the skating season is upon us. So we have all those emotions. It was a little bit of mourning, but
I know I really wasn't ready for it, but I forget how early the Junior Grand Prix starts compared to the Senior Grand Prix, knowing, of course, that their finals are at the same time. It is an unusual schedule. The second
you feel it like a little bit cooler in the early morning when you're getting ready for work, that's when you know skating is upon us. And
yeah, exactly.
You're like, oh, is it fall? Is it fall? Uh-oh. Skating is starting. So yesterday, Michael Shanley and I drove up to the Aurora Games. I had a really long week. I wasn't sure if I was going to go because I watched the gymnastics on Wednesday and I knew someone that was a judge of the event. The Aurora Games, we've gotten a million questions, so we'll just talk it out, because I don't think Jonathan knows what the heck it was either. So
no, I mean, you finally I had threatened to go with you once upon a time, and I didn't know if the trip was still happening. I mean, given the videos, I think I'm good with your reporting.
Okay, so let me break it down. So the Aurora Games, they didn't do a great job of publicizing the event and explaining it to people.
You're the only reason I know that it exists. So, I saw no mention of it anywhere else.
Okay, so the reason I know about the Aurora Games is because Caitlin Ohashi was the first headliner announced for the Aurora Games was Caitlin Ohashi. Jerry Solomon tried to put on a women's sports festival for 6 different sports. It happened in Albany, New York. They had tennis, hockey, figure skating, gymnastics, beach volleyball. Missing a sport, but you get the drift. Judo? I don't know. I really don't know.
It's not judo.
Someone's going how do you not know this sport? I don't really flip it know. It made not a lick of sense. They didn't do a great job of, the why do you care? It was supposed to be celebrating women in sports. They actually did a decent job in part. I honestly think that Jerry ran out of time and or money to really do the event well. They needed a bigger staff doing so many sports and so many events. Albany had redone their Times Union Center, so they wanted to have it there. It's where Ice Wars was held way back when. And on Wednesday, and they got ESPN involved with ESPNU, which is on some people's TVs and not others, or you can watch it online. But they didn't do a great job of finalizing the event. And it was is it a real event? We had no idea what the format was going to be for skating. We had no idea how it was going to be judged, what type of programs, and neither did the skaters. But I'll just, I watched the gymnastics on Wednesday, and that made me less sure if I was going to go. So Miss Val and Jessica O'Byrne from Gymcastic put that on. Miss Val and Jessica are kind of like a unit. Jessica's kind of like her organizer for things. And I know that Val went to elementary school with someone who knew Jerry Solomon. So Jerry Solomon is Nancy Kerrigan's husband, who's also an agent, and he also would put on some of those events with Steve Disson that you used to see on NBC on Sunday afternoons, where you'd see has-beens kind of skating to music, or current people skating to music, where it didn't really go, and that you could tell that they didn't put any time into the programs, but it was kind of like recycled moves. But it was the skating on TV, and the skaters would do commercials for Scotch tape and applesauce, and so that's all. Steve Disson and Jerry was often involved. So Jerry owns Star Games, is his business in Boston, and he does a lot of tennis. He was briefly Shannon Miller's agent. I think he represented Jason Brown briefly, and he put on the gymnastics. And it's interesting because it started off, and they had 4,000 people there for gymnastics. They did a good job publicizing it because Val...
That's a big crowd in Albany?
Yeah, so Caitlin Ohashi gets a lot of attention, right? When she comes out with anything, and they had her there. They had Judge. You could talk about the randomness of the event. Judge Aquilina was there from the Larry Nassar trial, like the judge who like held up his written statement and, you know, let all those women speak. So it was about women, celebrating women, which was great. But then the format of the event was like, they were going to have women only do balance beam and floor, probably because those are the only events that Ohashi competed on in college. She didn't do bars or vault hardly ever, especially now that she's like retired. And they had like 6 people there. Half of them were from the world team.
Well, so now this was the skating portion was an ISU sanctioned event, oddly enough, right?
Sort of. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into
because
that.
Then I'm curious. So was the gymnastics validated by any?
No.
Yeah,
the gymnastics,
like,
they had all of the recently retired college gymnasts there, right? So they had Caitlin Ohashi, who went viral. They had Mary Lou Retton's daughter, who just graduated from LSU. They had a gymnast from Florida named Alicia Boren, and then they had a couple gymnasts who used to compete in college, or they had like a Russian, you know, compete, Tatiana Nabieva, they did like collegiate routines, but they scored everyone out of a 10. My friend Ricky was judging, because usually when they have gymnastics events, they don't always have them. Sometimes they have them over a basketball court, and sometimes it's over an ice skating rink, if you have it in certain places. But there are certain like coverings for the floor that you need so that you're not walking over ice. And the first problem they had is that they really hadn't put on a gymnastics event before, and they didn't have the proper covering to go over the ice rink at the Times Union Center. So the floor mat was wet from being above ice, like that water and stuff, like all like it gets wet, it bleeds through things. So they were walking like on like planks, and the balance beam was also wet, and all the gymnasts were falling on the same area of the beam, and they didn't know if it was wet because they were walking on the ground and then getting
up there. Yeah.
So a lot of the gymnasts pulled out skills. They were supposed to do like 3 passes in a collegiate routine. They all did 2 passes and like a bullshit pass, and then they and it was like a good idea that just like you could tell ran out of time. I mean, he had a lot of sponsors, and he did that Halloween on Ice tour, but it was like you could tell that they just ran out of time to like really publicize it. And I emailed them to find out about the skating and who was going to compete. And, you know, I have a YouTube show and I can talk it up for you. I just, you know, was curious. Never got a response. And you could tell that they just probably like had no time to like talk to anyone. And it seems like they probably thought like, oh, we can nail skating. We know skating. They didn't have really a crowd for skating. But the people...
Yeah, from the videos, it looked pretty sparsely attended and not that many seats to begin with.
Yeah. So they want to have this, like, every 2 years, they want to have this event, at least. But the thing is that they didn't... Like, they ran out of, like... They wanted it to be, like, a kind of pro competition, but most of the skaters did, like, adapted IJS programs, because these skaters don't just, like, know how to be fun and have, like, a pro exhibition program. So it was very strange, but fun. But honestly, it was decent. Like, the event itself was, it was a good time. I'll put it that way.
Right.
Like, I'm not mad that I went.
Okay.
Not mad that I went. It was $50, which is a little bit much. But the thing is that I think that this event could be successful because every single person that I met there that came up to me, they're like, oh, we know you from the skating lesson. Everyone was from New York City or from Boston, and they drove several hours to go there. So if they had more time to really publicize it and get influencers and social media people involved, I think that they could have had more people there. Now, you were asking if it's the thing is that I was talking to Lynn Rutherford about this like 2 months ago, and we assumed it was just going to be like a pro event. And we thought maybe they'll get like Alyssa Sisney and Kira Korpi and, you know, who are they going to get? But then they got Alysa Liu there. So they had to have this approved by the ISU, which is expensive, and which it didn't seem like they had.
Even if she's at an exhibition.
Yeah.
Because didn't she technically just skate an exhibition?
She only skated a competitive long program. Now, this wasn't scored under IJS. There were no cameras. There was no video replay. And it wasn't even scored under, like, World Pro. They literally gave them, like, 10, 9.5, 9.8. Like, you could, like, put your hand down and still get a 10. It didn't matter, right? Like, it really didn't matter. But it was just kind of, like, a little confusing. And they had it live on TV, which was also weird for the kind of energy in the event because they would have warm-ups and commercial breaks, and there was a lot of dead time, and you really, like, does the winning team get more money? Like, what is the incentive here other than, like, bragging rights? And is it an individual competition? Like, and why is Alysa Liu only skating? So I am wondering, Jonathan,
Excuse me, you think Alysa Liu is the surprising element. I'm like, Konstantinova showed up to this? I was like,
so I think that means that I think that means they no longer care about her in Russia. That's how she got.
Well,
apparently they tried at Terry's rink and they all said, like, absolutely not. Like, we're getting ready for the season. Yeah. They went to Mie Hamada and she threw them, like, the old girl who skated to Sunset Boulevard, who could do triple axels and wound up being one of the stars of the event. And frankly,
it was a very enjoyable clip that you posted.
So I'm wondering, these girls who skated after the award ceremony when the TV broadcast ended. So it must have been in their contract to skate 2 events. Meanwhile, half the crowd left. Maybe there were 2,000 people, 2,400 people, half left, right? So why did they do 2 events? That means that they wanted to do the event or they were contractually obligated. But then is that for an ISU thing that Alysa Liu could skate, but she couldn't skate 2 competitive programs. So it might have been some sort of, like, caveat to get around the ISU sanction and how she was there.
Okay.
And it was good that she was there. There were other people that were placeholders. Like, they had Isadore Williams. They had a skater from Mexico who were, like, very lovely skaters, but not the draw. And obviously ESPN probably would have loved if they had Alysa Liu doing 2 skates on the broadcast, and if they had Ashley Wagner doing 2 skates on the broadcast, but they only had them doing 1. It was just strange, and you kind of knew it had something to do with either ISU or contracts or money or something, but it was strange. So we can go skater by skater, and I'll just give my overall impressions. And okay, so let's start with Ashley. So I wasn't fully aware of this. I check out her Instagram from time to time, but she has been saying lately that she has torn labrums on both sides of her hip. And I thought that was interesting because during the Olympic year, I was talking to Alyssa Cisney because she has had hip surgery on both sides. And we were talking about Ashley's jumps, and we thought that they looked less stable. Anytime after 2016 Worlds, if you look at Ashley just physically, she's holding different.
On. Yeah.
But it looked like there was something going on, like, physically with her, especially the Olympic year. You can look at the actual jumps and her body looks not as strong and stable. And the fact that it seems like both of her hips are shot. And she also made a comment to someone that she was kind of ready to be done even touring. And you think, like, that's one of the ways Ashley's going to make money. But it seems like she keeps referencing being retired. And it seems like her body is just done from the jumping. So
yeah.
So we missed her short program.
So she didn't jump. Yeah, I mean.
So we missed her short program because we were stuck in traffic, and I guess everyone's, like, taking their kids to college. And she did her Annie Lennox program. She did a triple flip that was kind of under and 2-footed and a double axel. And then she did a program she did her La La Land program. But they did a weird thing after the event ended, and Nancy gave out, like, the final award and scores and stuff. So she skated it, and this is where the event got really, like, poorly run, is that they would have each skater do a 3-minute warm-up and then do their program. And Ashley was, like, skating around, because before they would bring out 2 skaters and they would have, like, 5 or 6 minutes to warm up. And then when she had to do the free, she just, like, warmed up for 3 minutes, and then they were like, okay, go. And she was like, now? And they were like, yeah, like, you're going to do your program. And she only was practicing double axels, so I don't think she was really intending to go for some of the jumps. Like, clearly she was, like, winging it and wanted it to be done. Like, you could just, like, kind of read her body language. It was still enjoyable and, like, beautiful, but it was...
odd.
It was like seeing someone who you know is, like, ready to be done skating. Like, just, like, their body is done. They are, like, this is the last rodeo. It just had that vibe to it, so...
Yeah. And it's too bad. I mean, I watched the clip that you posted.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely program for her. I thought that, you know, it was a shame it all shook down the way that it did, but it was a lovely program. But she was clearly, I mean, obviously these are non-functioning technical elements.
Don't you think that the La La Land kind of lacks that, like, Ashley always has, like, a little bit of, like, edge to her? Like, Swan Lake, Samson and Delilah.
It's a bit delicate. It's a bit delicate.
Like, she has a little fire under her, whether it's, like, sass or, like, there's, like, a grit to her. And I've always felt that music just kind of, like, strips that... It's a little bit of a retirement song for her. Like, it just kind of strips away that there's always, like,
the earthiness that makes her special. Yeah.
Yeah. Not that it's not nice. It's pretty. But it's just, like, doesn't push over the finish line. So, yeah.
But we're not going to Ashley Wagner for pretty. If you're an Ashley Wagner fan, you're a fan of that grit. You're a fan of that pizzazz. You're not going to her because you want her to see, you know, you don't want to see her in an effervescent type program. Yeah.
It was, like, I don't know. It was nice. I had never seen La La Land live before, but it was just nice. Like, it was like, You could tell it was a program that just has never fully, like...
Well, would you want to be doing that again? For the first time since you missed the Olympic team?
No, but, like, there were no rules at this event. This event was Liz Manley, Isabel Brasseur, and Surya judging on, like, notebook paper, basically, writing, I mean, like, printouts of, like, giving scores that were, like, 10, 9.5, 9, 8. She could have done anything. Frankly, I wanted to see Ashley do, like, that hand clap where she's in the booty shorts and the...
Right, yeah.
But she said she wasn't in great shape, so maybe she didn't want to wear that costume and do it. Because I don't think she skates much, because I don't think her body can do it.
Well, if you're in pain, how come? Why would you? Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, I wanted to see Ashley shimmy and shake. Like, I was, like, here for it. But she...
Well, and I'm sure this wasn't an easy time to just be training also... where she's been pulled publicity-wise and all this sort of stuff. And I'm sure there's a lot of distractions going on. I can't imagine this could have been a priority given the weeks she had leading up to it.
Yeah, and so this was all about women empowerment. I'm sure that when that was announced was coordinated somehow because she's doing this event. Like, I'm sure that those who manage her, if they knew she was going to speak out about it, I'm sure they always direct it. Like, all of these have been, like, choreographed. Like, when people decide to tell their story. Because if she reported in February and is being public now, like, it's not completely coincidental.
And it doesn't invalidate her decision to come forward at all.
It's just they manage that. When people, like... She wasn't going to say it in February when everyone skating had pitchforks out. Like, that's not the appropriate time. So, yeah. Like, because apparently they referenced it a lot on the commentary that Brian Boitano did, like, during the event and the other one. So, yeah. But, yeah, it just, you could tell. It was a little sad because you could tell that she was done, but she still had so much magnetism that it was a shame that some of the other skaters tried to do almost competitive programs, that they were trying to, like, get ready for the season, because these IJS programs, these skaters
aren't
just,
entertaining.
Like, they're left with nothing. Like, I have to say, Mae Bernice is one of the most striking skaters to watch in person. When she, like, didn't go for a jumping pass and just did a sliding split on the ice, there is something, like, if Mae Bernice could just be creative and come up with, like, a competitive program with, like, 2 triples and, like...
She knows how to sell it.
She's exciting. She has good costumes that are, like, unusual. Like...
Because sometimes when you see her on television, you're just sort of left with maybe some stiff knees, maybe some hunched posture. But I remember when I saw her in France, she was just clubbing it. she would just like look out and sell, and you looked like you wanted to go out and have fun with her. And she was able to exude that energy.
Yeah, like I hope that they do more events like these, and then I would invite Mie Bernice to all of them because there's something about her. She has a little bit of X factor. She's taller than the average skater. She's a couple years older. She's more of a personality. Like, she gets it. Like, you just have to give her some notes and be like, okay, none of those IJS spins. We don't want to see them. We don't care.
Just scratch it. Scratch spin only.
Scratch
just go for
spin,
it.
like a little bit of like disco shaking. And like, yeah. Like, Mie Bernice is someone that I would invite.
Include, yeah.
Now, there was like a 90s skating moment. And Jonathan, like, I don't know if this is one of those skaters that, like, have you ever watched a skating event when you wake up at, like, 5 a.m. because you want to see someone compete and, like, you don't have coffee or you're getting the coffee ready and you keep falling back asleep and you miss, like, the skaters in the early group?
Yeah, yeah.
This Isabel Olsen, have we seen her before? I don't want to be rude,
I don't know
but I don't...
Who is that?
She's
was I supposed to watch her? Did you post her?
I didn't look. Those iPhone batteries don't last.
It's true, at all.
I knew we had to film Alysa Liu, Ayaka Hosada with the triple axels, Ashley and Mirai. Yeah. Those were like the priorities. I'm sorry to everyone else. I watched you.
Stanislava got in there though. You gave her some airtime.
This other skater was way more entertaining than her. She has she doesn't have the IJS jumps and she doesn't have the star. Jonathan, there was this girl. She was skating. Michael Shanley had a lot of thoughts on her. She was skating to this song, Euphoria. She started in a fetal position on the ice. It was an IJS program, but it looked like an Oksana Bayul pro number, okay? She starts, like, laying on the ice, and then there would be points where she would just go, like, several times throughout the program, she's just, like, telling the crowd to get in. Hot mess, loved it, invite her back. I'm telling you, don't know who she is.
Where is she from?
She's from Sweden. I mean, I don't know why Jerry was wasting the money with those tickets, getting those people. I don't even know. She's not related to the Helgesons, but she was entertaining. Okay. Who else did we have? The Mexican skater, Isadora Williams. It was funny because she wore her Lisa McKinnon dress and Ashley wore her La La Land dress. They were very similar. Both beautiful, but same aesthetic going on. It was kind of like when Lauren Shee and all the girls had the same dress in different colors in the 90s. I was reminded of
that. That's right.
Tara's rainbow dress and Nicole Bobek's Evita, same dress, different colors. Okay,
literally,
She just made that money. Okay, don't hate the player, hate the game. Okay, so let's talk about Mirai. Did you watch Mirai's performance?
I did watch Mirai.
Did you notice that her free skate had more musicality and choreography than any of her other programs that she competed with?
Yeah, but I noticed she still kind of turns off in this way.
A bit, but yet it was more than we usually get from her.
Yeah.
So it was like she was beautiful. Like I thought the long had beautiful moments, like beautiful. And I taped all the warm-ups that I could, and I posted them just for the reason I wanted people to be able to look and reference this. In Mariah's short program, she under-rotated like almost every triple, like every jumping pass. You watch her in the warm-up, this girl just had hip surgery. Every jump was big, beautiful, and fully rotated. Every single one. And I noticed that she went for a triple salchow, triple toe in the short program. And she, like, changed her pattern a little bit. Like, you could just tell she tightened up a little bit and just adjusted it. And it was under in the program, but in the short, it was, like, in the warm-up, it was so easy. It was so complete. And
so you think she self-doubts and changes the entries? Is that where it's happening?
100%. Okay. Tightens up, changes things just a little bit. And I noted, like, she was so... And she was really good in the long. The unders were a little bit... Or less if they happened. And she's getting back in shape. So she looks like she's actually going to have a pretty good pro career. Because I was talking to a skater about the economics of this. And now that Stars is performed in front of like dozens of people, these skaters are making like maybe $1,500 per show. Maybe $2,000 if you're like Nathan, right?
Yeah.
So, but if you're Mirai, this event probably paid her a couple thousand. Ashley was the headliner, so she probably got more, but only did one number, which is like, again, strange. but then did a second number when no one was there. All like, I don't know. They didn't explain it to us. I have no idea. So Mirai is going to do the Japan Open, which is like you can make like $20,000 as a skater if the Team USA medals in that, and then she'll probably get like China Stars on Ice, so to make like a decent living while she's finishing up school. So she's in pretty good shape. Tom Dixon did these programs. Honestly, if that girl wanted to do nationals, she would do okay as long as she believes in herself. But you can tell it's all up here.
I mean, and that's the thing. You never wanted to, but that's more tangible information to me, because when people say, "Oh, they just get tight," that's so vague. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? As if it was just as easy as choosing to rotate, and she wasn't. But what you're saying about she second guesses and alters, full-blown alters.
I noticed that the jumping pattern was full altered, like in a different spot on the ice for the salto. Yeah.
And now it doesn't matter what you've trained because you're doing something new for the very first time.
Well, you're just coming into it at a different angle, and the lean of your body is ever so slightly different. And you just know that's just like tightening up under pressure or changing your timing just a little bit. And she's probably nervous because it's her first time even competing, even though this was a joke of an event. But you still like are on TV, you have pride, you want to show a good performance. And when a skater like Mirai or Ashley are going for pro events, every time that they're seen on TV doing well, they have more of a chance of IMG and people deciding to put them in Chinese stars. Because if you go to Stars on Ice China, that's a decent paycheck too. You make more money if you go to Asia. So, like, Unishow was paying single skaters like $18,000 for a weekend for 3 shows. Right? Like, you want to get invited to that. So if Mirai looks good, she has more of a chance of getting invited to them. It's why Jeremy never announced his retirement, so no one knew whether he was going to compete or not, or whether to invite him or not. And he's just kind of getting his pro career going now with like Rock the Ring and stuff like that. So that was interesting. Ayaka Hosada did those triple axels. Like,
I know, and they were quite lovely, and her energy seemed vivacious. Like in a kind of onslaught of sleepy programs, she was a burst of energy.
So she's the one that did Sunset Boulevard at Japanese Nationals last year. We kind of laughed because she was like older, skating to a song about like remembering when, and then she did triple axels. She was like, they show all these Japanese girls trying to do triple axels. Here's your girl who can do one. And they don't seem to believe in her, but like...
Yeah, so where is that disconnect?
I just think because she's older. So it's kind of like a Deanna Stellato where they like know that she's good, but they think that she's old, so they don't invest. But they have Higuchi and like other girls who are they keep trying to make them happen, and it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And like, I would send this girl to the Senior B. I would...
Give her the shot, yeah.
I wonder why Mie Hamada was there, because she was at the... I wonder if she has someone that's going to be in, like, Placid next week, and that's how they got her. Like, it was clearly, like, strategic. Like, clearly Alysa Liu wanted to put her programs out. She clearly, like, flew to Lake Placid, is going to then... wanted to get these programs out under pressure, get the elements out, and then compete next week. So that's clearly... She did both programs. I think they just didn't score them both because of, like... Probably rules with the ISU. They were probably like, well, you can have her do one, but not 2. So,
okay,
it made no sense. No sense. But
serves Alysa well.
She did her job. Think about that's kind of brilliant. Apparently, she's been spending a lot of time with Lori Nickel, like working on skating. And Lori actually used to be more of a jump coach, and it flipped where she became more of a choreographer. So I know Lori's been working with her a lot. I thought that her skating... I saw her a year ago at that Tara Modlin show. And I don't know what your impression of her was at Nationals exactly, but when I saw her a year ago, she looked almost like an intermediate in terms of skating skills. Like, I was
the skating skills at Nationals, compared to the content she was doing, was just very small and slow. That was the primary...
So I know people were hating on her on the YouTube channel. I thought she's improved so much in a year.
I agree. It's a definite step forward.
Now, they have room to grow, but she at least looks like appropriately 13 now. Whereas before, it was like she could do all these tricks, but the jumps... They've worked a lot with her, and I'm starting to actually see improvement.
The results, yeah.
As far as the jumps go, whether they're going to last, I don't know, but she has moxie. Think about it. There were eyes on her. She was going to be on TV. She knows she's competing next week. The Russian Kamilia Valieva, who's like her competitor, just landed a quad this weekend. Eyes were on Alysa. She went out and delivered. To me, that's someone who mentally
has their head in the game.
She has their head in the game. She wants to do well.
Yeah.
And interesting, Nancy Kerrigan was doing like the interviews of the event. Nancy had her phone out and was like filming Alysa during the event, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. Well, I think she's also a very endearing character.
Nancy, I love Nancy.
No, well, yes, of course, but Nancy, of course, in addition to Tanya's new insurance commercial, did they air it on the Jumbotron during the competition?
They did not, but let's take a pause and talk about that and then talk about what they did air, because I met Nancy, so we need to talk about it. Okay. Tanya, the insurance commercial. She is so flippin' charming.
Yeah. The autograph bit.
I tend to believe Tanya knew. Like, if I think about this logically, right? Like, I've listened to all the revisionist history, and I think people were awful to Tanya. And I think that, yes, she was a victim in her own right. And I think she knew. This is what DBT therapy teaches you. It teaches you, like, opposing thoughts can both be true.
Yeah.
However, very charming performance in the commercial, and I loved seeing her in it.
Not since her movie Breakaway in the mid-90s. Which I tried desperately to find. I remember like seeing excerpts of it on like Access Hollywood or something at the time.
And how smart. We would never know of this insurance company if it weren't for Tom. I've never heard about direct auto insurance.
We're talking about it now. Yeah.
Yeah, I went and like, I was all over that. Okay, that was it was a great surprise on Monday. I got my Invisalign and I watched Tanya, okay? And like...
All was right.
Okay, so I met Nancy Kerrigan. Have you ever met Nancy?
I think I did meet her once. Maybe in Boston, but like a hello only, not a conversation.
I love that Nancy seems like she's a real person. Like, we always talk about how she wasn't meant to be famous. Like, she's the only people in skating. Like, she would have no clue who we are.
Right.
Like...
Right.
Not a one. Right?
Right.
Like, I met her and I was like, oh, I do a skating YouTube show. She's like, oh, that's so interesting. Like, lovely. Like a real...
Where
like,
other people respond like this. I know.
I don't know. Sometimes they're, like, very friendly, right? Like...
Yeah, sometimes they track you down.
Like, no. Like, Nancy, like, is just, like, a complete, like... And I never assume anyone knows us. Like, but, like, she's, like, a real human being person. So... Who's like, you could tell Jerry's just like forcing her back in it. Like Brian Boitano said that he had never seen Konstantinova like skate before he's like, I've never heard of this girl. These skaters have lives and they move on. So.
Right. Fair enough.
So we go to get a picture with Nancy, right? Like, and I'm like, Mike, come on. And then he's sitting, he's like, oh yeah. No, like, Mike, like, come on. You have to take the picture. Like, mosey's over. We go to get Nancy, and she's like, oh, yeah. And then, you know, Nancy's known for a sarcastic remark. And you know how they were doing that stupid thing after the awards where it was like, one warm-up, a skater. Another warm-up, a skater. And she's like, well, we have so many warm-ups, you know we have time for a picture. Like, she was shading her husband.
She gets it. She knows, yeah.
And they played her 94 short program on the Jumbotron during the ice make. The crowd was going wild.
Because these are obviously diehards, yeah.
Nancy was pumping her fists, like watching herself on the Jumbotron. She got a standing ovation. It was better than any of the actual skating at the event. Seeing Nancy be like this after like seeing
Amazing.
It. Flippin' incredible. Okay, like... Also, Nancy was like dancing to Justin Timberlake backstage. These were like and okay, I don't know if you've watched Surya Bonali in interviews. There's some skaters who are really charismatic on the ice. Surya's not one of those people that's like interesting off the ice.
Right, yeah, I agree. Her magic comes alive on the ice.
As a judge, she was like not interesting at all, but her facial expression was hilarious as she looked confused. And I shared Aaron Harris's tweet about, like, what the F is going on. And people thought that the tweet was about the fact that Syria was judging. And it was all about her face being like, what is this on the ice? Which was hysterical.
Okay.
Isabelle Brasseur, like, lovely, long-suffering partner of Lloyd Eisler. Like, again, like, lovely, but not really...
X Factor type. Yeah.
The star judge. Our favorite ball of fun, hot mess energy, Liz Manley.
Yes, of course.
The music is on. Liz is like up dancing. She's like shaking it in her white suit. She's like yelling to Ashley Wagner across the rink at all
marching
times.
in that circle like at the end of her 88 program.
Yes! Like Liz,
yeah.
she was the Jonathan Judge. Everyone else would be like 8, 10.
She'd be like 100. Yeah, okay.
They also like must have known that Alysa Liu was going to go for the quads because they all gave her 10.5 and it was printed out on a card ahead of time. So they must have like known that was coming. It was unexpected and like kind of fabulous. Like in the moment, there were 2,000 people in the arena and it created a moment. Okay, it's hard to have energy when you've got like weirdness going on like that.
Right,
so
right, of course.
Yeah. So Alysa Liu went out. She's a cool customer. The PA, like the sound system, like all of a sudden went scratchy as she was doing that short. She just kept skating, went into it, and kept doing her jumps. Like she just kept going. It was like Katya and Sergey at those 87 Worlds. Like nothing was going to stop them. Like
or the Protopopovs. Wasn't it the Protopopovs in the Czech Republic? They turned off the music?
It was
a pair. Oh, it was Arena. It was Arita Rodnina.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They were just like,
Maybe it wasn't Zaitsev. Maybe it was the other guy. Shit. Someone's going to be upset that I'm forgetting it. Arina Rodnina and somebody.
It's a skating fan who isn't going to be upset, okay? They're going to be like, you don't know Isabel Olsen? Who are you? Okay? Isabel, I didn't know you, but I thought you were wonderful, okay? Like, wonderful. Like, you stood out to me, okay? Konstantinova did not, okay? Like...
Oh. No, bless her heart. She she moves okay. The only reason I keep thinking of her is because she trains with Kolyada. Like that's her, and she has an occasional moment at Russian Nationals.
I mean, Jonathan, she was so flippin' boring, and she like sort of looks okay for the season. She looks like a Russian skater who's like stuck on the senior B's for the rest of her life. I mean, she jumps like with her arms and her back. The jumps were like kind of there. There's no star quality.
But other than that.
Fine, not offensive.
Okay.
But not memorable.
Yeah.
Is it better to be offensive or memorable? I don't know. Like, it's like...
Yeah, I'd much rather be memorably offensive.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, she was just like, all right. Like, I really, I have nothing to say about her. Like...
Yeah. Well, like Jenny said about going to Cup of Russia, I'm sure she goes home and she's like, they sent me to something in some place called Albany, like...
Right. And, like, that part of Albany, not so cute, but we had to turn around and we went up by the State House, which is, like, beautiful in Albany. Like, what a beautiful building. I was like, wow. Like, there are some cool kind of buildings in Albany. I've been there once before, but not for long. Yeah, someone was like, how'd you like Albany? And I was like, I literally just went for the skating. Like, I don't...
Yeah, I
didn't like that the bathroom, you had to go down a floor to go to the bathroom, and then it was, I don't know, it was a weird event. It was weird, okay? My credit card didn't work at the vending machine, but worked on the way there and everywhere else, so I guess it just, like, wasn't working.
You were denied a bag of chips. Okay.
Like, I was just kind of, like, trying to call, like, just, like, a weird experience, okay? We went, like, down a floor, like, it smelled like they just cleaned the bathroom, but like there was like a cat pee smell. I don't know. It was weird. All right, the whole
sounds
thing,
lovely, Dave. It sounds lovely. Yeah,
it was like bizarre. But we met Nancy. We saw Liz Manley dancing.
I mean,
like Jonathan. We saw like someone who's like Deanna aged in ladies singles years doing triple axels.
And 2 triple axel. Yeah.
Alysa Liu did a quad Lutz. I think it looked a little under. I know that there's like 70 million people being like, she pre-rotates. Well, they all pre-rotate. Like, news for you.
Yeah,
like,
so, yeah. She's just playing the game.
I'm sure Fran will have like a whole YouTube video about it on her channel. Like that girl, like she lives for any of it, right? Like they're not deducting for any of this shit. Like in person, Alysa Liu, it's not a Tanya-sized jump, and neither was Ayaka Hasada's, but it still was impressive. It just wasn't as impressive.
Well, especially compared to Alyssa's body type.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It can only, I mean, in proportion to her, those jumps are really big. It looks like she gets some nice spring on the Lutz.
The IJS skaters definitely skate slower so that they can do all of their events and don't, like, miss an entry or miss something. Like, there's a slower skating style. It's not as big and inviting as they used to skate.
No, it's inside and labor.
Controlled.
Yeah.
Because you have to, it's interesting.
You're watching someone operate machinery instead of sometimes feeling the openness of a performer.
Well, this feels like natural, so I'm going to cross this off the end of our agenda. But the ISU is supposed to vote on whether or not they're going to do this whole thing where they're going to get rid of the short and the long and have a technical program and an artistic program.
Now, when I first read that announcement, I might be misunderstanding it. I misread it as they're merely relabeling the titles of the short program and the free skate. Okay,
my interpretation of this is that do you remember when the ISU took over the pro events and they would do like a competitive short program and then like an artistic program where they still did do triple jumps, but the focus...
Well, almost like we did in the 95 World Pros. We only cared about the jumps in the first one.
Yeah, so honestly, I really think that you think of like Christy Yamaguchi, but like harder for the short. Like I really think they're going to be putting in their quads and their triples for the technical program. And maybe still doing some of that, but and I don't know how they're going to weight it, but that the artistic program would be much more.
And because that was the disconnect for me when we were looking at some of the pro events. It's like, okay, we're going to look at the primary technical contact in the first program. But then in the second program, when people were making technical errors or didn't offer enough technical input, it was very strange to figure out how to judge that because, I mean, we still are comparing to what is being done, what is being executed, and what's being omitted. You can't just ignore it. But I just read that as a name change to me,
I think
not as a requirement
like
change.
I think an emphasis change, because I think that one of the problems with skating, and it is a problem, is that there's no... What's the difference between the two programs? Like, they look the same. It's the shorter program and the longer program, right? Like, there's nothing free about it. They're both...
Was it Cinquanta that wanted to get rid of one of them altogether and just have one program?
Right.
Do you remember that? That was like 2014. They were trying to push...
And I think there's a used to having two programs, and I think that it actually may work. I know that people are like, wow, everyone's going to be hysterical about this, but like, if it works well, and you design it well, and you still do like 3 or 4 jumping passes in the artistic skate, I think it could be better, because there's no difference in the program. Like, the short program used to have required elements, and some of the required elements were like a spiral sequence, like different things than you would necessarily, a layback spin that wasn't just another combination spin. Like, you would see like required elements that made it interesting and unique. And now that they got rid of those elements and that everyone just does like these like contorted layback spins that are combo spins and like change, it just is like a longer shorter free skate and a longer, like it just doesn't, it's like the same shit, like it all looks the same.
Of course.
Like the only thing you look forward to in a free skate is like that like 15 seconds of the choreo sequence. You're like, oh, that was really nice. That was different.
Because they finally let go of the clutter for 2 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, and they need to have like way more of that, where they can just be artistic and create. So if it allows for more creativity...
The wording of that is going to be a nightmare for the
Right, and people are going to be like, well, it's subjective. It's a subjective sport. That's the whole point, okay?
Right.
It's subjective when you're giving someone a +5 and a +2. Like, it's all subjective. It's always going to be. Embrace it. That's part of the fun. Like,
right.
We're all arguing about everything all the time.
Yeah.
That's life. We're never all going to agree about everything. So,
which was something that someone skated to in the Junior Grand Prix. Look at you. You're making transitions without even realizing.
Transitions, yeah. Did I forget anyone from the Aurora Games? I don't think so. I think we hit everyone. Mirai, she looks good. I liked the free skate. Tom Dixon did it. The short was like very loud, but I liked it. The sound levels were all... Alysa Liu, quad Lutz, looks a little but they kept calling it first quad Lutz land by a lady. I don't know if it was really around, but Kurtz was a mess too when he landed his, so... Who knows? It may not have lick a sense. They need to promote it more. But
you mean first American lady?
First American lady, yes.
Yeah, it's like we're already way behind.
Yeah, but let's talk about the Junior Grand Prix. So Kamilia Valieva did her debut here. The Spiegel program.
Yeah,
I still. So the Russian ladies behind me said that we agree on almost everything, except that they're like, sometimes we don't agree with you. I was like, well, what don't you agree with me about? And they're like...
But also, great. That's the point.
I know. And I said, well, we don't agree with... And no one's going to agree with everyone all the time. But you should agree with me. And they're like, well, you don't always like Kamilia Valieva's programs. I'm like, well, I do like the short. I just thought it had more moments last year. Like, it had more...
It was infinitely better last year. She skated to the music a bit more last year.
Yes, they just fatitsed it.
If you were to watch this program,
yeah.
Sometimes I feel like a broken record, but let's hope someone's tuning in for the first time. If you muted her program and watched it, I would say she has beautiful extension. Mm-hmm. She does very cool moves. She's got great abilities. Then you turn on the music and I'm like, whoa. Is this the wrong music? What have you done? It's so broad, it's open, it's sparse. That's the whole point of the music. And if any skater ever dared to actually go with that mood, it would be... Have you ever watched like a dancer move so slowly at first it almost makes your skin crawl, and then like they keep going and it becomes so powerful? If anyone dared enough to go slow and be open, she would have us on the floor. We would just be weeping afterwards. But
she has X Factor. There's something...
It's frenetic. She looks ridiculous. It reminds me of the balance beam when they're sitting there in silence, like just fluttering. And there's just no music that justifies that. It doesn't make a lick of sense.
So actually... Okay, so her elements I thought were nice. However, I wish that, and some of them are time restrictions, but some of them are just how the program is designed. I wish she just had a little bit more time to hold, even like she does an Ina Bauer into the triple loop, right? And then she does an extension out of it. It was a very nice jump, but the Ina Bauer is rushed, and I wish she could just go, set. Hold for 2, up, move, up.
And she doesn't quite all the way get into the position, I feel. She has more. She has more to give in that.
And so she got +3s and +4s in the triple loop. I bet you that girl is capable of a +5, but I think if you hold the Ina Bauer, and it looks like a real Ina Bauer rather than a rush pose, and then a exit that's like held and beautiful, I would give that a +5.
Her Lutz problem in the short program with no combo, they still threw up a +GOE.
Which is ridiculous, and they're cheating for her.
Yeah, I mean, and I understand wanting to reward a skater of this talent, but she needs better material.
So the double axel, again, was a little rush, +3s, 4s, and 5s on it. I thought it was like a 3. I thought it was very nice. Atari's students are doing this like sit side position where they have like the other leg lower. I think it's to get around the sit spin rules that were like they were really hammering sit spins last year. So I'm sure it's to make sure that they're low enough in any position. It was like different looking and like cool. I didn't really love it. Like it was like original but not aesthetically brilliant.
Didn't really work for me. Yeah. It was more of a Tamara Moskvina kind of look at what I can do.
Yeah, I didn't love it. Again. But they said that she's having a lot of problems with her Lutz.
And then the flip issue in the free skate. It was surprising.
So again, the flip in the free skate, she does the Yulia entrance where they do this like Yulia did the same thing in the Olympics. They do the spiral and then they do like a circular pattern on the ice to hit the flip, but you're almost off balance going into the flip.
They all looked like they were on crazy leans.
Yeah, they were on crazy leans, and I think that that's partially why she missed the jump. And a lot of the Russian girls do sometimes have these weird patterns into jumps that I think for transition points, and they often in the same spot. I think even Kosternaya last year had a couple falls on a weird pattern into one of the jumps in her free skate.
Well, they're doing the weird pattern, and then because they also insist on the arms up, it almost ensures that lean is going to be exaggerated even further. Right?
So, yeah, I do think that it's interesting to me is that I think that she skates the short better than the long, but you can tell with the repeated exposure to a skater, the components just like go up ever so slightly. All of her components went up by like 0.2, except for the last one between the two programs. So they went up at least like the first 4 components all went up between the short and the long, even though the short I think is the better program than the exogenesis. It's just kind of like
but another piece, Dave, where they are completely exposed in that opening. The muse is like just nothingness, and there she goes flailing again.
I just don't.
They look ridiculous.
I don't think that she has any clue of what the free skate is about because she's not old enough. What long-term struggles has this girl had? She lost a couple competitions in intermediate or pre-novice. Like, what is really this?
Well, she's probably coming up in a very disciplined, scary, shaming school. I'm sure she has a lot of torment to pull upon. But if that was ever what it was about, you have to guide someone to how
I believe Jeremy has had some highs and lows in life, and so has Ashley has seen some shit moving around the country with like a military dad and parents who split up. Like, you've been through some stuff, and it comes out in the music, right? Like this is heavy music that it just doesn't suit a girl of this age who is like coming up. This is like her
dressed
moment.
like a Charlotte Hornets cheerleader. Like that was some teal and aqua, like purple happening there. That was like...
It was just kind of like a little bit of a cluster F, like a little bit of and the quad toe. The judges, they were so excited to see a top girl do the quad who was supposed to, that one gave it a +5. She's got this swing and landing where we're like...
Yeah, I mean, that's a little silly. Now, I will say, as a judge, I would give her the benefit of the doubt maybe a little bit. Because
have you seen your judging?
I know. I'd be like, all the points, because why not? You know, we're all doing the best we can, everyone. But the height of the jump was so impressive.
Yeah. But she does have that full blade assist that has that, like, weird that we see on the takeoff.
Yeah, but that's not really going to take away a plus GOE, is it?
It should. It should. It's like showing.
Yeah, it should. Okay.
They don't necessarily do it yet, but maybe by that 2020 Congress, I mean, that's something where they do use that full blade assist technique, and it's becoming more and more of a thing. And it's like a bad habit that's becoming like a real part
accepted practice, because they actually care more about promoting the increased technical content than they might about the technique used to get it.
Yeah. Now, the quad toe, like, it was just a little swingy, and, like, it was like when the plane lands and you're, like, a little rocky. Like, that's kind of what it was. So a +5, like, I remember Megan Duhamel, she called it. I posted on Instagram, like, what would you give this for GOE? She had those bullets nailed, and she's like, and they'll score it too high. She was right. She was right, like, across the board, that they were going to go too high for it. And they did, But
she's one of the few where I really notice the height. Like sometimes even on Sherbakova or Trusova, it's impressive what they do, but this had a different kind of spring to it that was more exciting to see, actually.
They went a little high on her footwork sequence in the long as well. It's not a brilliant sequence, and she has better skating skills than Medvedeva or Zagitova did as juniors.
Well, do you think they could have done that double axel exit where she stayed on one foot the whole time and then turns around and then lifts the leg up and all that sort of shit?
No, she's better than they are. I'm telling you, she's a better skater inherently than they are. And that's why, like, Medvedeva looked so rough on Stars on Ice, is because when the jumps go, there's not much left with some of these girls in their basic skating.
And when the transitions are not there.
Yeah, because they're not done with quality. They're quantity over quality. But I thought it was overall a decent skate. Like, I just wish she could hold things and have more time to show off her skating skills, because there is a posture there, and there is a lot of very good qualities about her
again,
skating.
this is an example, it's not a criticism of her, it's a criticism of the
development.
Yeah, exactly. And really, in the choreography and musical selection, they should have something to do with one another.
Yeah, I think that she's doing, obviously, She doesn't have the triple axels that Alysa Liu does, but all of her elements are getting +3, +4, +5 across the board, and that's what's going to really help her, and she's going to have higher components than Alysa. I wouldn't be surprised.
Much higher, yeah. There's no comparison in that regard.
But the inconsistency will hurt her. So it's like kind of it'll be interesting at the Grand Prix final to see them go head-to-head, because I really, they're interesting matchups. Alyssa's getting better at her elements too across the board, so...
I don't know that Alyssa just is a guarantee. Do you think she's a guarantee in that final?
Yeah. Unless she has, like, one of the biggest meltdowns, like a Michelle Kwan 97 Nationals in Nashville meltdown, Alysa Liu is going to... She looks... I'm telling you...
I hope that doesn't happen.
She looked solid. Yes, mentally together. Everyone was watching that girl, and she came... Jonathan, she came out and did a triple axel, like, in the warm-up, like, casually. Like, just like, oh, she's going to do it. Like, what? No.
But she was still, even though she's, you know, who she is compared to the people that were there, let's see what happens when she's really got a tough lineup up there. I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Like, Jonathan, how often am I right? Pretty often.
Just about why I want to learn why you're right. That's the thing.
I'm kidding. Oh my God! Like,
it's a blessing and a curse to be so right. I've often said this much.
I was kidding, but she has, look, the pressure was on her, and she'll have more pressure next week, and I think she's.
I'm not saying I think she'll implode, but I just, you know.
You're being a negative Nancy about her, Alysa Liu. I can sense it with you. You talk to someone who's negative about her. Listen, she's against.
Oh my gosh! No, you know what it was? Seeing the elegance of some of these girls this week compared to hers really exemplified.
Next week, she's against Tarakanova. She can outskate her.
Yes,
Sanya
I agree.
Sinitsina, she can outskate her.
Who?
Exactly.
No, who did you actually say?
One of the, like, Sinitsina. She's against, like, come on. Next week, she's going to nail it in Lake Placid. This is her moment, Jonathan. The dad is going to be fantastically... Get ready, okay? It's like with Mirai. I skipped a college party to watch Mirai's debut on the Junior Grand Prix once, okay? Let me tell you, Mirai.
And that's all you need to know about Dave Lees.
You did that program... And I was in Ithaca, so they probably had the good weed, Mariah, okay? They were, like, doing...
We can ask Karen Chen. Okay.
Jokes.
That's all a joke. Oh, my gosh. Of course. And that joke about Karen was just because she's going to Ithaca. That's all.
She's going to Cornell. Other Hill.
You know.
They do the sake bombing in Cornell. Ithaca's the weed. Sake bombing is at Cornell, and it used to be at the restaurant Miyake. All the underage kids would be in there. We had sushi there. My mom's like, don't they proof anyone? Everyone who's 19 is doing the sake bombs on the table.
Oh, well, there
When
you
the
go.
triple Lutz goes, we're just going to ask Karen Chen, how's Miyake going? Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh. If I got a place for you. Okay.
Oh, my God. When you turn 21, Karen... You got to go to room B. Is it called level B? And they have the fish bowls, and they give you, like, the free, like, the animals. Like, they have dinosaurs and the... Anyway, things in college, okay?
Okay.
Cornell, all right? So, like, be very scared, okay? Anyway. How about... I already, like... This girl, I feel so bad for her. Maya Kromich. I mean, she won the short program here. That's like the moment of her life. She has no...
Dave.
Yeah.
I loved her short program.
What?
Yes.
What'd you like about it?
Yes. I know. I've seen her skate several times.
Do you just like anyone who's tall?
Yeah.
She had no musicality.
How long have you known me, Dave? Is this supposed to be a surprise?
Okay. She was tall, no performance ability, gangly, like a less talented version of Paulina, and she's got real weird arms on the jumps. Then she's doing 2.5 Lutzes in the free. Like, what are we liking about her?
You know what? I liked the way the short program was crafted. After I had seen several of the programs...
She didn't sound like she was hearing it. It was a Miki Ando situation. Like, there was, like, violin music. She wasn't responding to it.
She made some beautiful pictures. I would arguably say even more so than Valieva in the beginning.
What?
In the beginning of the short. I totally loved it. I don't know. Something was fully extended about the opening few seconds, and I was in.
She was like 7 feet tall in the juniors, and like
I stand by it. I stand by it.
Jonathan,
she's going for the gold in Beijing.
It was so bad that I'm like, oh my god, she won't be in the group in 4 months. Like I felt so bad for her.
There's no question it's not sustained. I like her, so of course she's not going to be able to deliver on technical content the way I need her.
What you like about her though? Like there wasn't.
But truly, in the opening, from the fingertips to the toes, it was fully extended in several dance holds. In the very beginning of that short program, you go back and watch. Now the free was a miss, but I saw within there a dancer dying to get out.
The free where she copied our Alexa Sameka's program to Ghost, and it was with not the same dress that we wanted. That Lisa McKinnon dress. Maybe Maya could skate to that.
At least Alexa had the dress.
Yeah. But, come on, she skated. She does her Lutz. It has none of the natural tilt, so she's like this the whole time, and she's like leaning back. Like
not a great jumper. Not a great jumper. But I don't know where double axels were okay enough.
She was doing 2.5 jumps during certain parts, okay? Like,
she just kept trying to do double axels. The problem is she was trying a triple Lutz.
I'm like, what was happening? Like, no, okay? You like a tall giraffe, we go for the Italian girl. Our friend Leonardo.
We also love gorgeous skater.
Oh my god, I told Leonardo, he was like, do I see Dear Evan Hansen? I said, see Dear Evan Hansen. He loved it. It's the only time he's emailed me about a non-Italian skater. He only emails me about Italian skaters. I'm like, you can pick other things. Like,
she had lovely qualities.
It's like that girl Maria that always is messaging us only about Germans, and I'm like,
but that's helpful because they have their ear to the ground in countries we may not.
It's helpful and a little bit like literal. Like I'm always like winking and nodding a little bit, Okay. Like this guard JR, this one guy who only sends us videos of Terry's girls, and like I'm always like weary of people who have like a profile picture of not themselves. I'm like, what does this person look like on the other end? I'm just like always curious. Always
Correct. What are you hiding? Yeah.
But
the Italian girl had some really beautiful quality.
The Italian girl was lovely. She needs to like Carolina Costa to train her and Lori.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful tall giraffe. She has a gorgeous face. She's got the pale skin with the dark hair and the romantic vibe and the smoky eye. Oh, I loved her. She's not a good jumper at all. She's got these big limbs and these circular patterns, but
I fear the technical limitations. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one.
Excuse me. She's going to be that token Italian girl that we're all just going to love because someone has to like. Russia can only send 3 people to European, so we'll get to know this one. She's on like the long.
Well, yeah, exactly. She may end up competing in that team event in Beijing.
Yeah, the triple loop was like scrappy and swingy. She's got like a great Rosano triple toe combination. She's just so lanky. She can work on the posture a little bit at times, but this girl's a star, I'm telling you.
Yeah, she had really, really beautiful qualities. I felt like I was watching a great artist, like an old video of them.
It's like watching early Carolina Costner when you see it, right? Like it's a little messy.
I think she's ahead of Carolina in her arm. I don't think Carolina as a junior was that put together.
I liked that she was doing a version of the Mission, but it has all those like weird South American like flute type instruments. Like what are they called? Like those.
It sounded like pan flutes almost.
Pan flutes, right? Like
yeah.
I'm like, are we watching the Duchenets? Are we watching the Mission? It was a mishmash, and I flippin' left it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it was nice, but for real, the short program really was a standout for me.
Now, I always love, I don't know if you follow any of like the fan accounts on Instagram, but sometimes to like see the videos and stuff, I'll like scroll through in the bathroom at work real quick. And like, when I saw that someone was going to Miki Ando for choreography, John, and it's written with like no irony. Again, that Maya Kromich, you know it's so bad because the person probably watches our show who does the Instagram and they're like, I think that we should root for this girl and not think that she's just the least talented of the bunch. Look, she won the short program here. And I'm like, oh, you know her is due. Like, when a tween already knows that she's bad, like, you're like, oh
my God.
And then she said that this Nana Arakai, like, whatever her name is, good skating skills, like, very... very Japanese, stereotypical, where they can do like a triple loop double toe combo. Like never going to do like the fully rotated triple triples that are good. Miki Ando choreography. You're like, oh, blast.
Yeah, that was something. Yeah, it's interesting because so much of what I think about Japanese female skating now is so much more artistic than, of course, we ever thought it was in the past. But there does seem to be a pendulum swing back to the more scrappy thruster jumping kind of Japanese ladies' school.
Speaking
and she
of
was
like
among them.
weird Japanese cheese, do you follow the channel Fei Mei Cheng? She's like a big Shoma Uno
Is this
fan.
the thing with Mao apologizing?
Yes. Okay. So there's a channel, Fei Mei Cheng, FEIMEICHENG. I never reshare any of her stuff because she's like very territorial about Shoma Uno, and we don't want to anger the Japanese who actually have like information that's like viable.
Right.
Also, was Hanyu like in a Rolex ad? All of a sudden there were these watch pictures. Again, the translations made no sense. I couldn't figure out what was happening. I think he has a new ad. He's like keeping time. I don't know. Like it's Hanyu time. All right. Like, but Mamasada was apologizing to Midori Ito's coach for leaving her like 14 years ago.
Was it really that big of a scandal at the time?
13 years ago. No, she went to Raphael. I mean, come on. Come on. She had the tackiest programs with her, but like Mao was so lovely. Like it was time to go. Anyway. Weirdest thing on Japanese.
Yeah, because then it was Yamada like telling her it's okay.
I don't know. I think we should like do this with like Michelle and Frank. We can have them sit down and apologize.
You know what? People would watch it. People would watch it.
I would watch all of it. I'd be like, how many times is Danny's name mentioned?
Bring Tanya back to do a completely non-Nancy related thing and just have her talking to Diane Rollins. Yes. Have Nicole Bobeck with a lineup of 25 coaches. Like an assembly.
Nicole Bobeck is pregnant, okay? It was her birthday the other day, and she is pregnant, okay? I was so happy for her. I was like, Nicole, I'm emotional. Like, you are, like, so good. You took care of the elephants, and now you're going to take care of a child, and I'm just, like, seeing the maternal instincts coming out. I'm telling you, it was, like, beautiful.
A circus of emotions, Dave.
Yes. And poor Hannah Harrell, Jonathan. The jumps that was
are going. Tough. That's really tough. Now,
the double axels were cheated.
Riddle me this.
She's a no-neck monster. No, like, she can't fix that.
Is she a talent in need of new training, or are there just limitations here and we're just, given our state in the United States, giving her more attention?
Both.
Okay. Because there is a spring. There is a pop and like a trajectory at times to the jumps, but I clearly saw someone who has no idea what they are doing technically. There is no technical plan or mantra going on in her head. And I don't mean to imply she hasn't been taught or she doesn't know technique, but it seems to go out the window. I do not see any organizational plan of attack.
And she's with those Leitovs who like don't know how to teach the skating skills, but they know how to mask it. And now she's with... We love Mishigi, but his choreography... I prefer him as a skater and a personality. His choreography is like... Russian Scott Brown to me. It's like...
Yeah, I agree. And here's the thing. It's one thing to be able to create cool moves on the ice, but it's another to work with what's in front of you. And she needs someone to help her with more than a program.
Oh my God. He just like gives generic music. And it's like the choreography is like nonsensical, but I do love him. Look, he gave us Alexa dancing in the back, having no flipping idea what was going on in that video, that Normani song that we love, Dancing with a Stranger.
We do love Normani, yeah. It's also Sam Smith. Yeah, okay.
Sam Smith. You loved that song, okay?
I do love that song.
You downloaded it. You told me you were like...
Oh, totally did. Yeah, exactly. I think any choreographer, given Hannah, I mean, there are limitations to what you can do, but
do you remember,
something.
There was a gymnast, Courtney McCool. She had no neck. And when you go to college and you don't grow taller, it just keeps you... It's a struggle aesthetically. I have a long neck, which is also a problem, and a wide neck. When you've got neck issues, it's hard in skating. Like, it's uncomfortable. So, and then you have the coaches that it's always yelling you that you're wearing your shoulders for earrings. Like, it's a nightmare, okay? Like,
right. Yeah.
She has Russian coaches. You know they're not nice, okay? Like,
yeah, there was a bit of a Courtney Hicks quality coming across in some of this, like, pray and hope for the best technique. But
well, there's a reason why these Letov skaters, they've always had a lot of junior talents that don't translate into seniors. It's not by accident. And then Vivian Lee didn't work out with Raphael, but maybe we could send her to Drunk Alex? Like, I don't know. Like, what... Maybe you could fix her. She could learn, like, the off-ice drills that Gracie did growing up, and we could, like, make her into, like, a power girl and, like, work on the skating that way. But she's at a crossroads. Like, definitely.
Yeah, this isn't. And now there's a spotlight on her because of her pewter. And
I know. And, like, everyone was so upset when we said we didn't see potential, but...
Yeah.
It was rough. It was rough. And she has an athleticism, but it needs to be harnessed in the right way. And, like, it was almost like she was getting lost in her air position. Like, it was just messy.
It seemed unorganized. It seemed like she was just kind of winging it, and she wasn't. And that's the strange part.
Yeah. But how about the Korean? So-Young Lee, I probably messed up her name, but lovely, skated to a version of Amelie in a green dress. She had, like, very lanky
or
dress.
as what's his face said, Amelia.
Is that what he said?
Some of his pronunciations were just off the charts.
He's so Canadian. He is the most Canadian person.
It's this thing
ever.
that Tracy does it sometimes too, and you just think you got to have somebody help you with this.
Oh my God, this fan wrote us and she's like, I'm from Canada and I agree with 97% of the things you say about Canadians. And I said, what's the other 3%? And she's like, well, I need to have a little Canadian nationalism. It was like...
Amazing. Yeah, exactly. Fair enough. Mm-hmm. And you know what Ted has done with this Junior Grand Prix? It's incredible. Every person was right there. All of the channels were in playlists, easy as could be.
He's like everyone's corny dad. The thing, okay, positives. The YouTube channel is the positive. They've upgraded the speed of the video. They have more frames per second, so the video is much clearer than it used to be, and it looks like you're there almost. Like, especially the opening. And the opening, they're directing the video. They really knew how to shoot Valieva's program head on.
Right.
The negatives, they cut any point of attracting viewers with, they have those annoying, like, thumbnails that are just text instead of, and all the thumbnails then look exactly the same without having a picture of the skater, or just letting it be the natural thumbnail that would show from the actual video because YouTube auto-selects.
Because it doesn't put the name on the logo, right? It's just the logo of the event.
It has their name sometimes on it, but, like, again, that's not, like, attracting me. I don't want to see just, like, text. Like, I'm going to see a picture. Like, that's more engagement, right? It's just a weird thing. They're making those are custom thumbnails. They're choosing to do that. Like, they're weird.
I don't know if they had the skater's name and program within the thumbnail, I would find it outrageously clear.
Riddle me this. Say you're not an obsessive person who has heard of these people before because we track them week to week, and you have like a bossy gay telling you who to watch. If you didn't know who the lanky giraffe from Italy was,
I would want to know the placement in that information also. If I was only going based on text, but you're right, you would be much more intrigued to be drawn in by that. Would you be
intrigued if you saw the beautiful face with the gorgeous smoky eye and, like, a nice position in a spiral? A picture of that, wouldn't you be more likely to click on it if you're like, oh, this looks like a skater with potential?
Yeah, I feel like only superfans are coming to this page, and I think a lot of superfans don't follow the Junior Grand Prix, but this YouTube channel makes it easy for everyone to cross over into it.
They get enough views on their channel that they're higher in the YouTube algorithm, so when people search skating, it'll be a recommended video on the side because they get so much watch time. It's a very powerful channel.
And then if that's the situation...
It's why the USFS is such an idiot with what they do.
They've completely missed all of it.
They don't get any of it because they're thinking in dollars and cents when they could be thinking in, like, thousands, millions, right?
Yeah.
Like, by USA Gymnastics, they're so high in the YouTube algorithm that their videos get suggested all over the place. If you search gymnastics, you'll see...
Dave, just from recently watching all those clips, I am inundated now. Every time I open
everything in YouTube, it's an algorithm that has to do with the channel's watch time. So the more... It's the most important metric on YouTube is how many minutes someone has watched your channel total, rather than just the number of views. So if something like that, then, like, it's like promoting the sport and it suggests it with everything. Like, it's why the ISU channel is so brilliant for this. And I don't know if you know this, but Eurosport isn't going to have the Grand Prix anymore. They did, like, British Eurosport.
And British Eurosport really messed it up because when I was living in Germany, I would do Eurosport and they would allow me to get sometimes the British live commentary. Sometimes it had to be German or none. But if they made that available...
Honestly, one day I think it's just going to be on their YouTube channel and they'll probably make more money that way.
It just feels like a whole bunch of like outdated people of an older generation that are missing how to do this.
A big sponsor like a watch company or something, if you're seeing that something is getting millions and millions of views on YouTube, that's exposure that you cannot, you can't get that.
They're not getting on ESPNU.
No, because media is so fragmented that it's so hard to be known. That's why you have Nancy Kerrigan handing out coffee in Albany, New York, trying to get people to go to the Aurora Games. Paying $50 for their tickets, okay? Listen, I had to get myself in the mood to go. I didn't want to go on Friday, but I went to bed early. I woke up. I got my coffee. I listened to Kim Goldman's podcast. We listened about OJ and Marcia Clark. It got me to Albany. All right? Glad I went.
There you go. Nice to get to the Capitol.
We could have made a road trip of it with more people if Jerry had engaged us and emailed us back and helped promote it a little bit more. We don't need any money. Just let us talk to Nancy, okay? That's
exactly. Let us have coffee with Nancy. We don't want it handed to us. We want to have it with her.
But if you went to Dunkin' Donuts and Nancy handed out your coffee, how long do you think she would have a good attitude for it for?
Oh, I think we're delightful. I think we'd be fine.
But how long until you have a woman and that's like, I want foam, but not that much foam. What, don't you leave enough room for milk and sugar?
Oh my gosh.
How long until Nancy was like... Take your coffee.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, I used to be a waiter. We used to do this all the time. Jonathan, give me a million things that you would like to redo with your salad.
Oh, okay. Well, I want the dressing on the side, and I definitely don't want any nuts, but I would like extra cheese, please. Oh, don't worry. Double meat. Yeah.
Now we walk back to where the POS system is. That tall guy at table 3 wants extra cheese as if he needs it for those thighs. All right? That is what your waiter is saying, okay? You don't even have to worry about what, spitting in your food. That's not going to happen. The rude things they'll say.
Yeah, their words are much more dangerous than a little saliva. Okay.
You don't even know. What is happening the second it's on stage, off stage. On stage, off stage. It's what gets you through the day. Yeah. When you're at Dunkin' Donuts, there's no backstage. You can't just be talking about people behind the stage. Who knows what is happening with Nancy, right?
Well, Nancy may be glad that there are no thought police. Yeah.
How long do they have her passing out coffee for? That's what I want to know.
Too long. Anytime is too long.
Oh my God, I would love it. I would love force an hour and a camera with Nancy. Oh my God. Are you kidding? What, another warm-up, Jerry? God.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Go serve coffee, Nancy.
My friend said that there was a table with the gymnastics, and it was all the A-listers, Nadia and Jackie Joyner-Kersee, who seemed a little bit friendly with each other. Anyway, Nadia and Jackie Joyner-Kersee, let's be honest, just saying. Okay. And then they had Miss Val.
She defected right into Jackie's arm.
They were all annoyed with Jerry. Nancy was at the other table with her kids, staying far away, being I'm just here because I'm forced to be. She doesn't act like a famous person, and we love that about her. She's just
she's always been, and that was kind of the problem, the aftermath of all of that is when you realize she was just a real person.
Every other skater is even when I had dinner with Mervyn and his partner, lovely, lovely girl, but definitely on the whole time. And then we moved, and we had a really good time here, and then this, and then I was
sometimes I'm I'm not a donor. This isn't a donor luncheon. Just be real.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I love it. I can't. Okay. Anyway.
So we were going to talk about our Korean girl.
Yes.
With the beautiful arms, but the stiff knees.
But she's making Korean skating more and more competitive. They're getting better and better. And, as Canada keeps, plummeting down, they thanked Canada and have, no prop coming up to replace them. So they're just going to be they need someone to go on Stars on Ice, because Tessa and Scott they're a competitive tour now. They have no stars for Stars on Ice in Canada. Like, if Weaver and Poge don't start getting along, I don't know who's going to be on that tour. Kurt's
Amazing.
getting long in the tooth. Kurt is a long in the tooth to put him on that tour, okay? Again and again and again. Like, who else are you... Who are the stars in Canada? Like, what's going...
Right.
Who are replacing anyone?
Right.
So, I think that Korea is happening. And I think that they should probably give them a Grand Prix sooner to encourage this. Because they need the dollars coming from somewhere in the ISU. So...
Right. Right. I mean...
Their website is so, like, graphically nice, but that organizationally they move you ahead. Like, as soon as the event ends, you can't find the protocols. It makes no sense, I have to tell you. Their website... Mm-hmm. And apparently the person in charge of their website is Susanna Rockamo, of Rockamo and Coco, like the originators of the Fin Step, and then the Film Step is named after them, and the Fin Step is always a compulsory dance. So clearly the fact that she works for them has something to do with it. Okay, they love those Finnish skaters.
And her dad, remember, her dad was the mayor of Helsinki, and now is a bigwig at Google, I think.
Oh. No wonder they're like controlling the skating internet and everything. They don't want us to see those protocols. They don't want us checking those rotations. They don't.
That's right.
They wanted those judges anonymous. No wonder you can't find that protocol when it was as soon as the event ends. They're like, yeah, that's on purpose. Okay.
Yeah, they know. They know.
We don't want that Fran making videos or that. What happened to Kula King? We can't even keep the obsessive fans. She's been MIA for months. Okay, like
she probably needed a rest.
She's like, there are too many Atari skaters. I can't take it. Where is she? Okay,
she can't keep it up.
Yeah, we want her on the show. Okay, like I don't know where she is. All right, I can't. All right.
Okay, but I need you to answer some questions about this girl. So I enjoy her arms so much, Dave. Especially before her short program combo. If you watch like the 30 seconds before it, she's creating some beautiful pictures with her arms.
Yes.
Now, she's connecting to the music with her body. Yes. It reminds me of how you talk about Kaori, about the skating skills. She has them in her lower body,
yes,
not in her upper body. This, I almost felt she connected so well to the music with her body movement, but not emotionally. So I felt there was a response that was beautiful and in time with the music, but I got nothing from her from a soul standpoint. Well, not the city.
I agree and disagree with you because she had I don't know if it was her eyeliner or like this eyeliner and a smoky eye. There was something about her eyes and the way she did the eye makeup in the short where I felt like she was staring at me through the computer screen the whole time. It was like one of those horror films.
It was arresting, yeah.
She was like looking like into our soul. Like I didn't know what was happening. I was like, what is going on? Like the eye makeup was flipping beautiful and like intriguing. So I'm intrigued by So Young. And
well, the short was especially arresting. It was more so the free, where I felt her body was still very much. She was clearly listening to the music.
Yeah.
And she's moving with it beautifully. It just did.
She could have more musicality. And she could have charisma.
Yeah, with heart instead of movement. The movement is right. And
heart,
the movement
from
is well
here on
played.
Up, as Michelle Kwan told Caroline Zhang. Okay?
That's right. I think it's here. I think it's not here or here.
Well, Michelle said it's from here on up. Okay?
There it is. Okay, got it.
Do you remember when she was telling Caroline? Remember that fluff piece where they were introducing Caroline to us and Michelle was schooling her left and right? Like,
yeah. Is that what you told her at her wedding? She's like...
Michelle had that, like, beautiful turtleneck on, and she was, like, really... Oh, yeah. It was, like, an unexpected joy they were giving us. They were, like... That Shep Goldberg knew how to tell a story with those fluff pieces.
He really did.
He knew how,
really
like, he was...
a narrative.
The subtle comparison of Caroline and Michelle just by having them both in the same piece because they're both his clients. Let me tell you, it was genius, all right?
But now what I do fear for the Korean girl are the jumps. I fear that these are low, under-rotated pretty consistently.
Why wasn't Gracie Gold at the Aurora Games? I'm sorry. But Yuki clearly was...
At least emceeing or something.
Got Mirai. I think they don't know if she's reliable to, like, show up. Or, like, is it going to be a Cup of Russia situation? But, like, if they bring the event back, I want to... Because I don't know if Ashley can shimmy and shake enough anymore. So, Ashley could MC or commentate, and then Mirai could compete against Gracie Gold. And I'd be there for that. Okay?
Yeah.
And then Isadora Williams was there. She used to train with Fleur. Fleur wanted those coaches to herself. She flippin' hated her. Let me tell you. They were going for that same spot at Nebelhorn. Oh,
right. Amazing.
That could have been a reality show. They're like amazing. Okay. Oh dear God. There are no personalities like skating. You can't.
Yeah. You can't make it up. If they would just use it on the ice a little bit more, we'd be great.
Oh my God. Even like Battle of Blades is going to be so campy and fun. Jonathan, I don't want to hear the words from an artistic point of view. That is about Canadian cheese, and you have to get into it.
Okay, all right. I will get on board with you.
You turn that frown upside down. It's going to be about Sandra. Like, yes, okay? It's about Canadian cheese, okay?
Okay.
Ekaterina Gordieva.
Wait. I will undress my robe of pretension.
Yes.
And was that the Chen Lu move? Okay.
It's Sandra with, like, her old gay Michael Siebert doing the event. You know they love each other.
Who we love. Yeah.
He put Kurt in those pleather pants.
Whatever. He still gets all the points for that Scheherazade program in '84 at Sarajevo, which absolutely should have been on the podium.
Oh, my God. And that fluff piece trying to get along with that Judy Bloomberg.
Well, she's tough, I bet. Now, when he's just skating forward and she donuts around his body and slides all the way down it. Come on. That was genius.
Amazing. I loved him. Okay. I loved that, like.
And he's a designer now, and I was poking around and looking. Yeah. It's pretty good stuff.
So is that Ryan Donnelly, but he doesn't seem to know that Ryan Donnelly, who we found in the. Have you been watching the videos of the '96 Nationals?
Yes, that's your tall guy.
Yes, the tall giraffe.
Yes.
He's a designer too. We need to get him on the show. And Jonathan, I went to look at his Instagram. Do you know the first picture that I saw of him was? His beautiful hair that, I always want. Like, I'm envious of the people with, like, the Alex Johnson hair.
Okay.
And then he was wearing a black turtleneck and pulled up his sleeves as if here.
Dave, he's living your life.
Ryan Donnelly, you need to come on the show. Like, we don't even know if he can speak, but yes, okay?
But it's worth a shot.
Oh my God! Did you see that Russian boy skating to Les Miserables in the men's event?
Was that a moment or what? He was feeling it.
I know people are going to want more thoughts about the Korean girl with the nice arms and the stiff knees, but she's just what she is. She's going to be fifth in Korea and a very lovely fifth. Okay, she's great.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
She's the herd. She's making Eunsoo work a little bit harder. That Nishiki was making Eunsoo work hard too in that video on Instagram. I'm all for it. Okay. We can forgive whatever happened with Mariah Bell. I don't think she was. I think her agent did that. I don't think that was her fault. But again, it made it interesting. Every time Eunsoo's on and Mariah Bell are on notice that they're not at the same events. But we're like, what's going on there? Are we ever going to announce that? Like, is Raphael
we're good. Is there an official okay now? Yeah.
What's happening?
We need closure, Dave.
Like Mariah Bell was getting death threats, so then we're not going to talk about it. Like.
Right.
Pause. What? We're not going to get
Jerry Solomon is launching a new event in Tanglewood where it's just Mariah and Eunsoo.
No, in Jerry Solomon fashion, we would pretend that Eunsoo doesn't exist and we would only invite Mariah Bell to it, right? We would act like it never happened, right? Like,
okay, got it.
No one would be able to talk about the other person ever again.
Okay. Yes. And the judges could be Elaine Zayak, Linda Frediani, and Lisa Marie Allen.
That would be the best. Linda would be a great judge.
She'd probably overjudge, don't you think?
You never know with Linda.
No, you know what? She's gonna knock it down. Elaine would overjudge.
Yeah, Elaine would judge. Yeah. Okay. So Andrei Kutovoy, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Apparently it's Daria Usashova. I love when Russians, when you put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable and they first pretend that they don't know what you're saying, and then they're like, oh yes, okay. Oh yeah, as if they haven't memorized every Italian
or I wonder if they have to sort it out what is sounding wrong, because as Dina was saying, it's less the pronunciation of the syllable and more where the emphasis is.
Have you ever met a Russian who's not a little bit difficult?
Well, see, I find they're linguistically difficult because they all have so many different...
I'm talking about personality.
I'm not going to comment.
They're like slightly Quebecois, right? Like they're like the Quebecois of Russia. That's
my person in the music world, I have only found them to be outrageously enjoyable.
They are. We like them that they're difficult.
Oh, to me, enjoyable means not difficult. in my personal experiences.
They're their own breed. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And I think it's a lot of fun and a lot of blunt and a lot of, but, I respect it so much. But like, they're not easy. Let's
you know where you stand. Yeah. They might not be mad at you and you don't know.
You know how like a dog is always happy to see you, but like cats, they cuddle with you, but they also, if you die, they'll leave you much quicker than a dog will. They say like a dog takes a couple of days, a cat takes a couple of like hours or two. Like,
okay.
Russians are cats. They just are.
Okay.
Right? Like, we love it. We love it. Okay.
Okay.
Americans are like some dumb animal that are like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, just ruining the earth. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Andrei Kutovoy, skating to Les Miserables, charismatic. It was in a posture for days.
Extension, energy, projection. A botched combo in the short, otherwise,
I didn't care. I would have cheated for him so hard, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved him. I loved him. I loved the suspenders.
Okay, so this is he's very small in stature. So we talk so much about the girls as they develop and how that affects their jumps. I'm intrigued. Do you think he will be affected by that as he grows?
Of course. He hasn't had a growth spurt yet. All these other skaters looked like they were in their gangly phases, like our Matthew Nielsen and that boy from Canada with Joanne McLeod. Like they were all having like, I felt like we were all the boys were like having to put pancake makeup on because they're in the stage where it's like acne. All of a sudden their limbs get longer, none of their clothes fit, and they don't know what to do with themselves, okay? Like I grew 6 inches in a year, okay? And by God, I had acne and like braces, and it was a lot freshman year.
And pain when you're growing that fast, yeah.
Yes.
I grew gradually, so I don't know about it. But
must be nice, you know.
But that's the thing with him. I hope it lasts through it, you know.
I think
it was beautiful skating.
We'll always
and
have
the short
moment.
Was beautiful.
Who cares? It's always had a moment, and it'll be on YouTube, and hopefully forever. Well, I'll be able to watch and be like, oh, remember when? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Because I have to tell you, the Igor Ruchkin from Terry's school, it was like...
Yeah. Their priorities aren't in that camp. But.
The Japanese boy, Yuma Kageyama, knees to die for. Jumps, very good.
Triple axel landing, woof, incredible.
But a little bit of a shoma hip. Like
he twizzles in between certain combinations, doesn't he? Yeah.
But he did a quad toe. You know, they need another man in Japan to kind of like secure the herd a bit, to keep things relevant when these people retire. He might be the one. There's something. There's a little bit of X factor. He could have a little bit more like charisma, but there's
a coolness to it. At an age, it would be easy to not have an element of cool. So
I hope Lambiel is working with him, because I think there is just something about him that's like, I like it. It's the skatings with the edges. I wrote, my God, like the triple Lutz, triple toe, the double 3 out, but who cares? The quad toe into like it was so much just like talent and like
so much good. Yeah,
so much good. Okay, it made my soul so happy. Okay, I was loving it. And this, I don't even know. They're telling us a name of a Canadian is Alexa. I don't know. He's like Icelandic Canadian. I don't know where this boy is from. He's coached by Joanne McLeod. Is that who worked with Sandhu? Because there was some like weird abstract artistry going on with a gangly boy, and it seemed like it was Joanne McLeod. I know she's... Did she coach that, like, weird Canadian, the girl... Remember our friend, Mir Leong, the girl that, like, would wear the helmet? And
yes.
Do you remember her?
Yes.
What was the story there? It was, like, a whole pot of crazy. Like, what?
Correct. Yeah.
Everyone used to gossip about her, and I forget, like, what the full... How is she doing? Does anyone know? Is she okay?
She's still wearing the helmet.
People don't come out of skating winners all the time. How is she doing? Like,
yeah.
She okay?
Someone let us know.
We can go fund me something for her. You know, like, let's...
A new helmet, perhaps.
We'll bedazzle it. Kirsten Mortales, yeah, we'll give her all the money. She can, like, make it pink. Okay? Like,
Julie Marcotte will make a playlist for the party. It'll be great.
Julie Marcotte is fabulous. Okay, she is very helpful.
She likes music from the era in which the Bedazzler was relevant.
Oh my god, I have stories to tell you off camera. Okay,
I look forward to it.
Maybe we could put it on the new. I'm going to make another level of the Patreon, but I'm unveiling it in a couple weeks because I'm inheriting someone's tape collection, Jonathan, and I'm going to like upload things. I'm going to buy a VCR off eBay, and I'm going to put I'm going to archive the TSL archives of the events that we need that everyone we can watch together.
Amazing,
and I'm going to do it in a way where they can't be pulled down or muted because I hate when that happens.
Right.
And then I'm also going to make a subreddit for TSL so we could have adult conversations where people aren't going to whine all the time. And
niche conversations.
Niche conversations. We could talk about music and art and yes, with not
free from the wrath of bots. Yeah,
of 13-year-old bots. We're gonna have a lot of fun. And it needs to happen. So
see you there. But the Canadian had lovely qualities, but I can't see him being a factor in the final, perhaps.
And then from Instagram, Matthew Nielsen was second in the short. He is the
classic American.
And then but he's growing a lot, but he has one of the best Instagram channels. You have to he shows himself really training. Once the kids become slightly famous, that all goes away. But he still has a really good Instagram. Follow him. He's fantastic. I really liked the short. I liked the music.
Short was lovely.
So the short was To Come Together, and then the free was to Aerosmith, Don't Want to Miss a Thing. That's from the Liv Tyler movie about the asteroid hitting the Earth, Armageddon. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you do, but it's okay. That's where
I remember it. I didn't see it, but I remember the film.
Do you remember the spacecraft have to land? Do you remember? Circa 1998, 2 movies came out about asteroids. Deep Impact with Tay Leone as the newscaster telling us of our impending doom, and Armageddon. Then it was on the news that in 40 years an asteroid was supposed to hit the Earth. Just bad news. Then they told us, false, fake news, made a mistake. They have never followed up. Is there still supposed to be an asteroid hitting the Earth in about 20 years? What's happening there? Okay.
Dave wants answers.
The Amazon is burning. Asteroids are coming to the Earth. Do I need to become more Catholic? Because I need to plan this in advance. I've got a busy schedule.
Or less. Yeah.
We have Junior Grand Prix to watch. And we have to, work us on our eternal salvation.
Right.
Okay? Let me tell you.
But I like that was a step 1 and then a step 2. that bit came after the Grand Prix. Okay.
Anyway, he doesn't want to close his eyes. He doesn't want to fall asleep because he doesn't want to miss a thing, okay? But he missed some things in the long program.
He did miss a couple things, yeah.
But there's talent there. There is talent, okay?
But his shoulders for me.
Steven Tyler didn't always have the success he had at American Idol. He had some rocky years in there, so it'll come around.
Is that a pun? Because he's a rock star? Okay.
He also, he's a ginger with a Jew fro, but not interesting hair situation going on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's from a not a very well known coach. Are they going to try to put him with Tom Z? Because Tom needs to. Who doesn't? I just keep your eye on Matthew Nielsen. He's one to watch. And Shishkova and Naumov's son was there, skating to Uprising, which is the music that Megan Duhamel and Eric ended to when they won that world title and they won that Grand Prix final over Stolbova, and they had that moment. So, 2015 Muse, they brought it back for the Olympic season, and they ditched that.
I'm with you.
All right, I'm just making sure we're on the same page. He was a flippin' hot mess here, but there's some talent there. So I think we need to
keep an eye on that as well.
Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on Evan Lysacek and Veer Wang not really interacting much, and she seems to have a new boy toy that she travels with. Keep an eye on that. And the ice stands?
I only kept a quasi-eye on ice stands here. It was not the most inspiring lineup for me.
It wasn't. But Jeffrey Chen has a lot of talent.
Yeah. He had good charisma.
Good edges. He's with Igor.
Yeah. Nice projection.
He's got some talent. He was giving us some of those Shibutani early big band programs with this Christina Wolfkinson partner. I liked him. I liked the new Canadian team, Brassard. I don't know if they have some names on them. B and B, okay? Emmy and...
Besmianova and Buchan.
Like, I don't even flipping know. Also, the baby French team had like a cool My Girl fin step going on. I liked it. It was like a foxtrot. Sorry, foxtrot to My Girl. It was a moment. So...
Now, the Russians that were wearing the lime green for the free... I'm pretty sure they were skating to a Pac-Man soundtrack. Like it was. I've been where I go sometimes in Philly. They have a Pac-Man set up on their Xbox, and it's like a club experience.
Do these people also visit Ithaca and get some of the good herbal?
They might. I can neither confirm nor deny that. However,
the Russians also might if they're playing Pac-Man. That sounds like a story.
It was like they were Pac-Man. It was 100%. Go back and listen and imagine you're playing Pac-Man and it makes more sense, the whole program. And the Russians that won, it was just sort of more of the same. There was a couple of invented moves here and there that were kind of interesting, when she slides away from him, but it just wasn't really doing it for me.
Okay.
And no pairs at all. I mean, geez, Louise.
What's really doing for me this week, but we can't talk about it, is what the French are doing for the rhythm dance. I'm just saying that it makes me so happy, and I can't wait for all of the asides when we can finally speak about it. But they're like the mafia there, so we can't talk about it. We cannot talk about it,
but it's worth the wait for that particular announcement.
We're gonna have so much to talk about. The other piece they were thinking about was Elton John, and then Nathan got that program. So,
and it works for him.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's talk about the rest of the things on our agenda. Callahan was finally banned 20 years.
Timely. Good one, USFS.
How did it make you feel?
In a way, like the James Levine thing made me feel at the Met. It's been going on for so long, and it's just so little, so late.
Yeah, was it satisfying? To me, it made me angry.
No. Yeah, it was like, you should have done it.
The stories,
in the early 90s when it was happening.
He's made so many, people's lives hell. Not, the people that he's abused sexually.
No question. But the people he's ruined emotionally.
Also, people that we know and care about that, will tell you stories about him, and they had... A
monster.
They had all of this information in the past. Those articles were really damning. And he was a top coach at the time, so it was more of the same with skating. Also, did you?
But of course, in retrospect, we know he wasn't even doing anything to really do that.
Also, people to keep an eye on. TJ and Delilah did a special. They pulled the Yankowskis, where they had a tryout behind Sarah Fung's back with a 13-year-old. But TJ can't compete with her, so they're not teaming up. But they decided to get rid of Sarah. Because girls always seem disposable to Delilah. She seems to love women. Again, keep your eye on the ball. And that is one to always watch.
Just when you think.
TJ, who used to release songs on iTunes about girls... misogynistic.
Not in an empowering sort of way.
TJ, who told off Christopher Dean on the ice to get out of his way. I mean, he's Christopher Dean. And the USFS will try to team him up with Deanna. Because they will see nothing wrong with him being 17 years younger than her. That is so out of her playbook. You think...
But do you think Deanna would ever put up with all that nonsense? Would that mean she'd go to Delilah?
No, but they are such idiots that they would be like, oh, and they would only be using her. They would only want to put her to help TJ come up. So
as a pawn.
Has a reputation as a pawn, and then they'll just say she's too old. Did you know that, they were paying for Nate to have tryouts, but, not Deanna, when they were trying to have them try out, after they split. Even though Nate was almost done, they were still here, we'll pay for you to try out. There's so much wrong, and I've never seen, if you think about the fact that Kyoko Ina is the one manipulating all the pairs. I mean, this is Kyoko, tried to switch to compete for Japan herself, dumped her partner over voicemail because she has a winning personality, and hated the USFS because she was always losing to Mino and Sand, despite having more technical content, but not an engaging personality on the ice. And then now she is the one who is making lives hell for other people. That's interesting to me. Like, that is some Stockholm
Instead
syndrome,
of wanting to make sure what happened to you never happened again. You know, empower these... whatever. There's nothing new to say.
That is some... You know they'll try to do it. You know it. The fact
it's such a misogynistic sort of organization. And do you think that's international, or do you think that's
always favors the man, except for Alexa, because Alexa's the talent in that team? So, but do you notice that, like, as soon as they left her, she badmouthed them, and then, but like, she married them, and then they don't speak, like that, and the fact that, like, they always talk about her being really hard about weight when, like, bless, like, Jonathan, that is like such a toxic environment. Wow. Like when
just wow. Just when you think of all times they'd be on their best behavior, they're still pulling the same shenanigans.
Their parents kicked him out of Monument because they didn't want him there. Like, this has been... Corey Aid even got rid of him. Corey Aid. Like, amazing. Like,
yeah.
This is like skater to watch. Just keep your eye on the ball. Like, you know, and it's like... It's the same playbook. The secret tryouts, the getting rid of the girl. And for them to get rid of a girl mid-season, you know something happened there. You know that was like, something happened. So, and there's like more stuff going on in Germany. A skater came out about the coach Carl Safer. Apparently, he was...
that was Red Glasses guy?
Yes, convicted of abuse before, and then they let him back in Germany and like didn't tell people. There's a whole flipping mess there, and we're not like, I don't speak German that well, but that's something to keep our eyes on. I don't know the laws or whatever there, but that's a disappointing situation. Apparently, Tuktamisheva wants to change her music for her short program, but keep the choreography.
Yeah, that was the problem. All she needed was different music. She'll win again.
But Jonathan, different music, same choreography.
I know.
If that's not what we say about her all the time.
I know. You're literally living the joke.
And then how about Jason Brown? We got to see some of his Schindler's List. I thought it looked nice. What'd you think?
The thing about that on ice perspectives or whatever that is you realize the speed at which he's going. Because yes. I was always impressed with Jason's speed when I would see him in person. Mm-hmm. And, well, I guess not always, but for sure in this instance, you could really see how it was flying. Yeah. And it was very committed. Mm-hmm. Some of the same vocabulary of moves, mm-hmm. but done with an intensity that even if it's not telling a specific story or something you felt was genuine and heartfelt, which I think is the most important thing you can do in that kind of program. Yes. He does have to worry about the hair. The Jufro is growing in the back. Like, we need to keep it kempt. Like, we need to... Of all times to call it that. Jonathan. Yeah, he's trying. Listen, as someone who went through their own and is still going through their own hair crisis, I try to understand. He's having a hair crisis. It's like... that. He's figuring it out. And he can. He can a little bit in the beginning of the season. You sort it out, Jason. You try a couple things. You'll come around. All right. Well, and by come around, I'll maybe clean it up. Clean up. Just like it looked so good last year, okay? Like, yeah. I just felt like I thought we had it solved, and now it's like, I don't know what's happening. Like, it was... Usually when a camera person comes, you want to look your best. Like... I have my Invisalign. Like, come on, all right? Like, we gotta... a lot of pain. It's not so invisible when you keep telling and showing everyone. Did you have bad teeth? Jonathan, people used to write me hate messages about my Madonna gap, okay? But I already wanted to fix them anyway. Oh, I never even really... Anyway, let's discuss we have the Senior Bs coming out. And what I thought was so funny is that Tara and Danny have been skating this summer. So they were off again. So they had Nika and Danny be the alternates when they trained with them. Because how many times have we seen Tara and Danny pull out of events in the fall? The USFS is like, we are like
the replacement team is going to know ahead of time. And
we're going to cover our ass on that one. Yeah, that's just smart. They should be doing that for everyone anyway.
Well, they have to because pairs they had such problems last year with making it. Remember there was that event that pairs went to, but then it didn't count for points because there weren't enough.
The one
pairs.
In Italy, I think Lombardia for some reason. I don't think Deanna and Nate were going to get any points there. It was something ridiculous. Yeah.
So they now have fewer events that are holding pairs on the Senior B circuit, so it's going to be harder to get points, so each one is more stacked. So that one in Salt Lake City is going to have Tarasa Morozov, Peng and Jin, Kana LeDuc. It's supposed to have Tara and Danny if they show.
Wow, that's a lineup.
And Cal Lang and Johnson. So that's a lineup there.
Yeah, that's okay.
They have 2 U.S. substitute pairs because they are just waiting for it.
Right.
Also, that's where we're going to see the debut of Chalk and Bates's, and apparently their programs are fabulous. Is what the scuttlebutt is. We've got Carrera and Ponomarenko. She's the one that they said wasn't as talented as Melania Trump to be a citizen. And then we have Caroline and Shane from France, and it's going to be Satoko. She always goes there. Yuna Shirewa, Young Yu, Ting, Amber Glenn, and Hannah.
I'm excited to see. I know they were posting some of Ting's things. I'll be excited to see them in that capacity.
Yes, Catherine Hill did her program. And the funny thing is that Catherine Hill, who did, back in the day, she did those TSL videos about, like, the arm and 5 pods.
Deportment, all that, yeah.
She's now dating Ben Augusto. It's, like, very public. We're not, like, dude. His first partner was named Katie Hill. Just, like, funny. Like, funny that, like,
weird.
From Katie Hill to dating Catherine Hill. So, the men, Tomoki Hiwatashi, Alexei Krasnozhan, Jimmy Ma, Vincent Zhou, Nick Nadeau. So that's, like, a decent. But
yeah. I'll be curious to see Tomoki especially.
So the weekend that I go to Hawaii on my yoga retreat, I'm going to have to be like, I need to stop namasteing for a while because I have to talk about skating, and then I'll come back.
At a weird time change. You're going to be all on a weird time zone.
Hopefully everyone will skate well, so I'm not like... But I'll be in a good mood. I'll be in Hawaii, in Kauai.
Yeah, you'll be centered.
If anyone has any tips for Kauai, I don't like to fly in a plane otherwise. If anyone has any tips... I think I'm going to have to watch the skating, so that may help me on the airplane if I have to.
Yeah, and I have the YouTube Premium or whatever, so you can download...
In advance?
The videos, offline.
Does the Wi-Fi work so I can watch things live with the time change? That's what I'm nervous about.
You can do like email and stuff, but I find on the in the air you won't be able to stream.
Anyone, I'll give you my flight times if you can like help me plan this in advance. With like, I'm a little nervous about it. I'm like stressed about my yoga retreat because it's the weekend that Hanyu and Medvedeva are debuting. So and Eunsoo is competing. So obviously I want to watch that and talk about it. So. All right, it's going to be Keegan, Conrad Orgel, Kevin Amos, who we love, Hanyu, Camden Pulkinen, Donovan Carrillo, who we love, and June. And then in the ladies, it's Brady, Karen Chen, Medvedeva, Gabby Dalman, May Bernice, and Eunsoo. Fabulous.
Oh, wow. These are like intense lineups for senior Bs. Sheesh.
And then Piper and Paul and Smart and Diaz in the dance. And then that's the weekend where they also do the Lombardia. So we're going to hear Jonathan talk about Aliev while I'm in Hawaii. Kazuki Tomono, whom we also love. Remember, he was adorable last season. Boyang Jin and Matteo Rizzo, who we are big fans of, but Leonardo loves even more. Our big Italian friend. Then we have Tukimisheva, Sherbakova, Young Yu, Yelim Kim, and Wakaba Higuchi, if she shows up. And then dance, Green and Parsons, Lejoie.
Who I've been loving.
Yes. Lejoie and Laca, and Guinard and Fabry. So it's going to be a busy week while I'm like trying to center, and who knows who's going to compete on the JGP that weekend. There's a lot going on. So feeling a little stressed about it, but I think we'll be okay. I'm going to be
you know what? I'm ready for such substantial lineups. Yeah. Like I'm looking forward to that.
But that's always like the busy weekend, and that's the one where I'm flying to Hawaii and landing. But I figure my friend from college is running the retreat, so she knows I'm a bit kooky. So I'm going to bring my microphone so that people can hear me because they were very mad.
They get very upset. Yeah. But although next time we know when you don't have your microphone, I'll just pull mine out and we'll have it at the same level. Okay.
Because I won't be able to bring my lights on the airplane. I'm not doing that. Like, that's a lot. Like,
yeah, well, now, welcome to my world where it's such a nightmare at times when you're, like, in all these random places. But the things we do because we love skating.
But Hawaii will be bright, right? Because I know people will be like, I can't see you. I'm not watching it.
You remember what happened in Chicago when I couldn't really find the right light. and I had to go in the restroom.
Yeah.
That might be my favorite TSL blooper moment. It's because it's hard, actually. You don't think about it, but when you are filming the Skype, you need the light coming in front of you or above you. It can't just be behind you. So that's when I just closed the lid to the toilet and sat on the toilet. And I would have got away with it too, except I bent over to pick up my glass of water, and you could see that there was a toilet flusher behind me.
The things we do
so you know you have that option. Yeah, the things we do, because we love chatting about skating.
I know. And I'm not going to put the opening intro music this week because we were filming it later, so I just want to get it up, because otherwise it delays it by like an hour to an hour and a half.
Oh, Dave, you'd probably increase viewership. Just be sitting in a hot tub in Hawaii and being like, hi, welcome to the Hawaii edition skating lesson.
Listen, I want to look so good for those Hawaii pictures. I mean, when you get Invisalign, it cuts up the inside of your mouth the first week because they now put these cement things on. So I have not been eating a lot of food this week because it hurts. So
I don't think you ever really do, but no, okay.
Some weeks.
Well,
okay.
Know your audience, Queen.
Yesterday, I told Michael Shanley to pick a picture of Nancy, and he shot it from below, and it almost looks like I have a double chin. And I'm like, Suzanne told us you don't shoot women from below, okay?
Anyone from below. Jeez Louise, yeah.
Gosh.
She's right. She is right.
She is right, Michael Shanley. Gosh. This is our one moment with Nancy Kerrigan, okay?
And you blew it. You blew it.
It's okay, she had a gold Rolex on and was making sarcastic remarks, and she was passing out things. So we want to know in the comments, how do you think Nancy would be as a coffee barista? How long do you think until she rolled her eyes at a customer? Which Nancy eye roll is your favorite, and does it make you love her more or the most? Which tall
Can you count the 1995 World Pro as an eye roll?
The 95 World Pro, the artistic program, is going to be up on Patreon. Then we are filming a best of with Daniel Lee, who's into college ranking. He has some very complicated thing for us that should be fun and has me a little stressed out for tomorrow that we're going to film.
Yeah, because it's kind of like judging people of different time periods against one another.
It makes a lot of sense to him. I think we're just going to talk and have fun and try our best. Okay?
And revisit some fun programs and discuss them and rank them accordingly.
Yes. What do you want to see on the TSL subreddit, and what do you want to talk about? What did you think of the tall giraffes? Who would you invite to the next Aurora Games, and how can we fix it? And are you into that parkour that they tried to make us love during the gymnastics? Because I flippin' hated it. I didn't like it. It was an obstacle course. They tried to say I just want to see full gymnastics competition of all the events. Okay, if we have another Aurora Games, would you go if you had known more of it ahead of time? Were you upset that they didn't show Ashley shimmy and shaking more on TV and doing the hand clap?
I'm only going if Holly Cook is invited next year.
Okay. Well, you know what? We're inviting Liz Manley again, okay?
Okay.
She was one of my favorite TSL guests, but she had a Canadian internet connection. It's always a little rocky, but she was great, okay? She loved Gracie Gold and Ashley when she was being very, not Canadian. She was like, I love those American skaters. They have their razzmatazz. Yeah.
She has to like that. Yeah.
She was so much fun as a judge. Oh my God. What was your favorite part of the Aurora Games? How do you think Alysa Liu is going to do in Lake Placid? Are you Team Dave or Team Jonathan about that? And,
revisionist history, Dave. Revisionist history.
About the Russian giraffe? Are you Team Jonathan or Team Dave about that?
Only in the opening of the short. That's all I ask that you consider. Okay.
Did you think the Valieva short was slightly more magical last season than this season, even though we like both, even though those women behind me don't seem to think so? Or maybe the long was the one that they were debating. I didn't know. We didn't have enough time to get into it. But if you're new here, subscribe below so that you can fight with us more often on YouTube. Hold an edge and look sexy. Do a split like May Bernice. Bye, guys.